Hello there. In this video, I would like to start a series about marketing tags and user tracking. We'll start with a basic page, add a couple of tags, and later on in other sessions, let's just say that this is session 1. Later on in other sessions, we can add a tag management system and kind of organize the tags through the TMS. I don't have a plan, and I guess we'll see how it goes. So I have ready a empty browser and also a node project. It's just a web server. It's a bit irrelevant for this demo, but this is where we will create a simple page, start adding tags, pretty much like if it was a company website and it would have a website with pages, and the company decided to do contracts with some vendors. They would need to add the tags to the pages. So I have a couple of examples here, Jivox, Mookie, and we'll be adding these and see the result. So let's start by firing the web server. Yeah, so I tried to open this and it timed out because the server was down, but if I reload now, I get a reply. And let's just create a new folder called session 1 for this session, and a simple web page, home.html. Hello from the home page. And if we refresh here, well, we need to call, yeah, there we go, session 1, home HTML. So we have hello from the home page, and we can see it's just an empty page. We can see it has one network call, which is the call to the server, and then we get the page. No cookies or no local persistent information. And this would be the company's website. If now the company creates a contract with an agency, and let's just say that the agency would add a ADNX tag, what we would need is to add that tag to all the pages in the website. So as soon as I add this, and if I return to my website, reload the page, there it is, my new tag, go to network, and now we have extra network calls. So this is already the ADNXS tag working. It has the first call, then it does a redirection, and then it actually does the tracking. This is all the vendor working, so it's no longer something that I'm in control. And basically what the vendor is doing is, with this redirection, is just creating cookies with anonymous ID. So it just gave me an anonymous ID. So if I close the browser, shut down my computer, tomorrow I return to my, or to the same company's website, this vendor knows I'm the same user. So in this case, I just visited one time. At this point, this vendor would be able to provide a report with at least one user and one visit for that user, right? And if I open the same page on another window, I would imagine that the ID is the same. So it just keeps track of the same user. And if I'm a new user, let's say I go to my mobile or some other device, doesn't really matter. If I go to the same page, it just treats me as a new user. So as we can see, I no longer have the ID. So Anonymous, it has different behaviors. Sometimes it creates IDs, sometimes it doesn't. But as you can see, this is no longer the same user. The tracking call did happen, however. So at this point, I would imagine that this vendor report would have two users with multiple visits or page views at least. And yeah, we just saw this one in action. We can add the other two and see the network calls and the cookies and the result of it. So the takeaways here are, first of all, the behavior. What's the expected behavior? So loads of cookies. These are all vendor cookies. As you can see, I just added a couple more tags, and now I have more IDs. Each vendor would create its own cookies with its own IDs and so on. Multiple network calls. So the takeaway here so far is really how to implement a tag on a website and how to see the tag's behavior. So if this would not be here, this means the tag would not be working. If we have a call on the network tab with 200 as a reply, the tag is implemented and working. There's not much else to do. So another takeaway here is that it's the workload when you're just doing this kind of approach, so not using a tag management system. So the first challenge is we usually don't have access to the web pages. The development team does. So we are depending ourselves on the development team and their sprint periods, I don't know, 2 or 3 weeks. And maybe, at the end of that sprint period, we would start having some tracking reports. And if tomorrow there's a new requirement and there's a new page, let's call this product HTML, the development would have to make sure that they would do exactly the same for all the pages. So hello from the product page. And at this point, we would need to start make things more complex. So if I visit home and product as a user, I do get so product page, I do get the tracking calls as well. But from a reporting perspective, it would just be, oh, this user visited n times, right? But I would know which page, for instance. So it would be ideal to come here back to the tag, and as we see here, well, category ID doesn't really apply in this case, but if we would say page name equals home, and here page name equals category, product. So this means that on my Jivox tracking, I would now have on my report, this user, which is the same user, keep in mind that my IDs don't change, are always the same. Excuse me. This user visited the product page, and he also visited the home page. And we can keep on adding extra data to keep track. So if this product is, I don't know, one of the products that my company sells, so product, we could say product ID, and I say 1, 2, 3. So we would now know that this user visited the product page with ID 1, 2, 3. So if we had multiple pages or multiple products, we could track of which products exactly this user likes. And so on. So we could just keep on adding data. So maybe product name. Car. So yeah, so having this implementation, as we just saw, it's quite simple. It's a simple approach. It does have its challenges. So development team dependency, that's the main really for a marketing team. The perspective is, this weekend we're going to have a flash sale, right? So we need quickly to add this new tag, or a new tag. So this one is already there, obviously, but a new tag for this weekend's flash sale purposes. Wait a minute. Having this architecture, the strategy that didn't really work, because we would have to go to the development team. They would have to implement this on all the pages. They would have to make sure that all of this information is correct. So by the time that it's ready, plus the development sprint, by the time that it's ready, the flash sale, the weekend is gone, right? Or it might be doable, but it really depends. There's a much easier way, at least with a tag management system. It makes things really easy, or easier at least. Yeah, so I think yeah, and I think that's it. So hope you guys enjoyed it. See you in the next session. Bye.